In an age of forgotten kings and whispered legends, there lived a ruler whose heart was as hard as the black marble of his throne. His name was King Malik, and his palace, a monument to his own vanity, pierced the sky with towers of gold and ivory. Its gardens flowed with perfumed waters, and its halls echoed with music and mirthless laughter. Yet, beyond the palace walls, a different story unfolded. In the shadow of its opulence, the king's people languished in poverty. Their villages were clusters of crumbling mud brick homes. Their fields were barren, and their tables were empty. Malik's soldiers, clad in iron and arrogance, patrolled the dusty streets, enforcing his cruel laws with the cold edge of their swords. The air was thick with despair, a heavy blanket that smothered hope and silenced prayers. Every sunrise brought only the certainty of more suffering, and every sunset, the fear of what the night might bring. The people's tears were the only water that flowed freely in the land, a bitter river born from the wellspring of the king's tyranny. But even in the deepest darkness, a flicker of faith can ignite a flame. The villagers, their bodies weakened, but their spirits unbroken, began to gather in secret. Under the cloak of night, in hidden courtyards and secluded groves, they came together. Their leader was an elder named Ibrahim, a man whose face was etched with the hardships of his people, but whose eyes shone with an unshakable belief in Allah's mercy. He led them not with weapons or words of rebellion, but with hands raised in supplication. They knelt on the hard earth, their foreheads touching the ground in humble prayer. Their whispers rose as one, a quiet chorus pleading for deliverance, for an end to their torment. They asked not for riches or power, but for justice and peace. They prayed for a sign, a miracle to lift the yoke of oppression from their shoulders. With every shared prayer, their collective hope grew stronger. A silent storm of faith gathering on the horizon, ready to challenge the might of the tyrant. Their prayers did not go unanswered. As King Malik feasted in his grand hall, mocking the plight of his subjects, a strange wind began to stir. It started as a whisper, rustling the silk banners of his palace, then grew into a howl that drowned out the musicians' lutes. The sky, once a clear, tranquil blue, turned a violent shade of ochre. From the heart of the desert, a colossal sandstorm, unlike any seen before, rose like a furious jinn awakened from its slumber. It was a wall of churning sand and wind, a manifestation of divine wrath. The storm descended upon the kingdom with terrifying speed, its target singular and precise. The Golden Palace, the symbol of Malik's pride, was the first to be consumed. The mighty sandstorm engulfed the king and his army, their cries for help swallowed by the roaring gale. The heavens unleashed their power, and the earth trembled as Allah's judgment was delivered. It was a terrifying, awe-inspiring spectacle, a divine intervention that swept away the foundations of tyranny in a single, unstoppable torrent of nature's fury. As swiftly as it had arrived, the storm receded, the wind settled, and the thick, suffocating dust began to clear. Where the magnificent palace once stood, there was now only a newly formed dune, a silent tomb for a king's arrogance. The tyrant's reign was over, buried beneath the very sands of the land he had tormented. Cautiously at first, the people emerged from their homes. They blinked in the transformed landscape, their eyes adjusting to the light of a new dawn. A hushed awe turned into a wave of joyous celebration. Cries of Allahu Akbar, God is the greatest, rang through the villages, echoing across the now peaceful land. They embraced one another, tears of sorrow replaced by tears of gratitude. The elder, Ibrahim, led them in a prayer of thanks, their voices united in praise of Allah, the most merciful, the most just, who had heard their pleas and delivered them from bondage. In the end, it was not an army of men that brought freedom, but an act of God, a powerful reminder that no earthly king can stand against the will of the divine.